Hey guys, I'm gonna lay some real shit down on you. Oh, that's really loud. So, got 7, Chicago, pretty friggin' fantastic. When I left Missouri, or when I went to pick up my friends and we left Missouri, personally, I didn't have overwhelming expectations. I've been following Got7 since the beginning, and I didn't stan them originally. It's not like I was completely obsessed with them, but they're very uplifting. I love their music, but I wasn't familiar with each member, and I wasn't familiar with who was who, and all of their music. And well, my friend definitely acquainted me with them on the way to St. Louis for us to catch our bus. We did ourselves a nice Got7 session, and I got to know them a lot better and got to enjoy their music a lot better as well. It's a 4-hour ride from where I live to St. Louis, Missouri. And we hopped on the bus and rode another 5.5, 6 hours to get to Chicago. So it was 8:30, 9 o'clock before we got into Chicago. I stopped at a Korean restaurant before I headed on to my hotel, which I will not tell you the name of, simply for the privacy of other people, which we'll get to in a minute. Anyways, I stopped at a Juma's Apron, which is in Chicago, and it's freaking delicious, by the way. So if you have a chance to go try Korean food, I would definitely do it. Anyways, I get to the hotel around 10:30-ish, 11 maybe. Maybe it was that late, I don't remember. And my other friend, and her friend, who were staying in the same room together, come down to greet me, and they guide me to the room, which is on like the 14th floor. So we get up there and we get in the room, and they both turn on me. We have something to tell you. Immediate panic. I'm thinking like they're gonna throw me out of the room. That's gonna be it. I'm not gonna be able to stay here. I'm gonna lose the money I paid for the ticket, whatever. It's because I panic, and I have ridiculous, crazy ideas about people and bad things happening to me, which did not happen on this trip. Anyways, I was like, I didn't say any of that out loud, of course. So, Nishi, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but yes, I did panic a little. They look at me and they say, Got7 is in this hotel. Let that sink in for a second. Okay? Nothing good ever happens to me. I don't get lucky. These things just don't happen. Got7 is in the same hotel. They were like, that was their black van sitting out front when you got here. And I said, excuse me? What did you just say to me? They're here. Right now. Yeah. Okay. All right. Breathe, Midge. Said, oh my God. Of course, I'm like fangirling because I'd spent the last 8 hours getting to know these boys better than I have in the last 3 years. So I'm freaking out. Like, mild panic. Anyways, we calm down and we start talking about it, and we just chill out. And then me and Katie, my other friend, the girl who stayed with us, we decided that we were going to go find a vending machine that worked, because we were thirsty after talking all that. And so we start looking on the floors for vending machines, while mildly kind of trying to figure out what floor they were staying on, just because, we're curious and mildly stalkerish like that. Can't help myself. Anyways, I'm not going to tell anybody the name of the hotel I stayed in, because that is their privacy and that is their right to stay there again if they so choose. So I will not ruin that for them. It's just not going to happen. And I've already had several people ask me, so it's a no. I'm not going to share that information. I won't tell you what floor they were on. I won't tell you what hotel it was. I won't even tell you what part of Chicago we were in. It was a nice hotel though, so if you're worried about them where they were staying and whether it was good accommodations enough for them, then worry no more. They were in a good place. Anyways, so we're on the 14th floor, and we start looking around and looking for a vending machine that actually worked, because none of them had anything in them. Not a single freaking vending machine in the entire building. So we get to the last floor. We decide to check, and the way the hall is set up, at the end of the hallway is a window, and next to that window is a vending machine. And so we back out of the room with the vending machine, and I turn and look down the hallway just out of habit, because I like to check my surroundings. It's an old military habit, can't help myself. And there's trays sitting outside a couple of the rooms. Watson and Sherlock, at your service. We walk down the hallway. Real quiet, like trying to be, respectful since it's late. And I'm sure either they were sleeping or what. Anyways, we get down the hallway and we stop, like we walk past everything first, and then we kind of slow-mo walk back. And on our way back, on one side of the hall, there's a door cracked open. About this far, the little door lock is blocking the door from being shut. And you can hear inside the room a girl band, a K-pop girl band playing. So I'm thinking, okay, so there's definitely some K-pop fans staying on this floor. On the other side of the hallway, on the second tray, is green tea and orange peels. If you know Jackson, my bias, if you know Jackson well enough, then you know Jackson loves green tea and oranges. Which actually is something I learned last week. I feel really bad for being a Jackson bias lover, or Jackson being my bias and not knowing that, and having not known that before. Anyways, back to the point. So we're sitting here going, oh my god, they're on this floor. They have to be. I mean, the green tea and the orange peels, it's not really that much of a giveaway, but the freaking K-pop music playing from across the hallway, they have to be on this floor. Besides, anyways, so continue. We finally can't find a vending machine that works, so we go down to the front desk and we get some sodas from them, and we go back upstairs, and everybody goes to bed, and we get up the next morning, and me and my friend Katie, we go eat breakfast, and we're sitting in the lobby after breakfast waiting for our other friend to get here. So that's what, 5 friends now? Five new friends that I'd not spent a lot of time around. I love the fact that K-pop brings us all together. It's freaking fantastic. Anyways, so we're sitting in the lobby, and me and her chit-chatting. We're waiting for the other girl to get here. She had just landed, the plane had just landed, and it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I'm talking to my friend, and I'm looking at her, and she just like stiffens, her eyes widen, and she just kind of like waves a little bit. So me thinking like, what is she looking at? I look over, and this freaking gorgeous Asian man is walking by with another guy. I don't even remember what he looked like. Anyways, gorgeous Asian man is walking by, and he looks over at us and he nods. So I'm thinking, okay, Asian guy, he's nodding, he's respecting us. Nod back. So I nod back, not even processing in my mind who it was. And then it froze. And then I looked at my friend, and then I looked back. And I looked back at my friend, and I said, was that? And she goes, Jackson? Yeah. So Jackson, we saw Jackson in the lobby for breakfast. So of course, as any good fan would do, when our friend got there, we all went and ate breakfast again. Hang on, guys, I gotta find some way to balance this, because me holding it is just dangerous for all of us. There. Okay. So anyways, where was I? Right. her friend gets there and she's hungry anyways. So we all decide to go sit back in the cafeteria again and eat breakfast. So we're sitting at one table. There's 2 tables over from us is Jackson and his manager, and they're talking, and Jackson is animated. And of course, we're all sitting here like, it's Jackson. So his manager kind of gestures towards us, and Jackson, sneaks a peek over his shoulder, looks back at his manager, and his manager sort of gestures towards his head. Jackson takes his hat off, sets it down, plays with his hair for a couple of seconds, and then slips his hat back on. And of course, all 3 of us are bloody messes. We're just sitting here going, oh my God. And then he just like glanced back over his shoulder, and of course we're all fucking we're done. Like that's all we could take for the day. And this is the day of the fan meet, right? This is the day of the fan meet. Anyways, and forgive me, I just got off of work, but I needed to get all this out. It's a week later and I still hadn't shared, so I felt like I needed to. Anyways, a couple minutes later, or not couple minutes, like 30 minutes later, they get up and leave. And I wanted to be a stalker and follow them, but then I was like, no, this is his private time. This is their private time. You have to contain yourself, Midge. You know how to do this. You're a good person. You can contain yourself. You're 27 years old, for God's sake. Lord of mercy. Anyways, so we all get done eating. We go upstairs and get ready. And I wanted to be at the venue early because I was helping pass out hand warmers, which if you saw the article that K-Pop USA wrote, my picture and a friend of mine were both in the picture of the people handing out the hand warmers. So if you got a pair of hand warmers, thank you for supporting us. We are the flight attendants. We had a lot of fun, and it was actually my first time volunteering as for a fan project, helping with a fan project. It was a great experience, and I actually loved doing that more than anything else. But anyways, I went upstairs and I got ready, and I put on my black pants and my plaid red shirt, and I looked like some kind of like a hipster punk rock wannabe. Whatever. I was cute. Nobody cares. Anyways, I get to the venue and we're doing our thing, and it gets later and people are showing up and it's starting to get colder, and the only thing I had to eat that day was the breakfast and then a piece of pizza, and I didn't drink any water, so of course I'm dehydrated. We go inside, I get a bottle of water, and I drink pretty much the entire thing before the first song is over. I should have gone and gotten another one, but I didn't want to miss anything, so I didn't go. Bad move on my part. I should have gone. Anyways, we get through the entire thing, and freaking Jackson, oh my God, his story about the snot shooting out of his nose, that was epic. They asked him what one of his most embarrassing moments was during a performance, and he was telling us about how he was performing hard carry, and he was like getting it, and he was, yeah, I'm looking good, and I'm working it, and he said, and he went to do one of the turns, and snot just shot out of his nose, just right out of his nose, and almost hit, I think it was Young Jay in the back of the head. And of course, Young Jay was like, and you didn't tell us about this? Bro. And of course, everybody in the audience laughed. And they were like, you're being a little too honest. Just a little too honest. And we're like, no. I loved hearing that. That was fantastic. They're people too, guys. Come on. Anyways. And then, of course, Bam Bam's like 60 billion dabs with his knee and everything. It was great. So anyways, we get to photo op, and the photo op people go through, and they get their stuff done, and then we get to high touch, which I had a P2 ticket for high touch, and at that point I was dizzy and I could barely breathe, and they decided to start with my side of the venue, and I'm like in the last of the P2s, so of course we all had to go first. I should have I should have told them I was dehydrated, either gone and gotten a bottle of water or gone to the other side of the venue and sat down, because I barely remember high touch. And I know I'm one of those assholes who didn't make eye contact with them. I tried to. I could barely walk. I could barely breathe. I did have enough in me to say hi to all of them. But they were rushing us, so we did. It was really quick high five, and they were yelling, "Don't grab hands," and "Don't grab hands." I fucking grabbed Jackson's hands. I'm an ass. I grabbed his hand. I was like, "Jackson, my man, what's up?" At that time, of course, I barely remember all this, but I remember they're like, "Oh my god. Oh my god, guys. This is one of the best looking groups of young men I have ever seen." Okay, they put every single guy I have ever had a crush on to shame. Every single one, which is crazy because I like really attractive men. I like really attractive women too, but that's besides the point. Anyways, we get through and I get down the steps from the stage, and actually, funny thing, I tripped up the steps going onto the stage. And of course, Sub K was like, "Are you okay?" And then they shuffled me through. Are you okay? I get off the stage and into the side hallway, and I lose it. I can't breathe anymore. I drop my bag. I almost dropped to the ground. The two of the security guard ladies came over, started talking to me, asked me if I wanted to call the paramedics, call somebody, and I was like, "Listen, I'm 700 plus miles away from home. There is nobody you can call who will show up and take care of me." "Well, there's a hospital nearby. We could take you there." And I'm like, "I don't need to go to a hospital. I just need to sit down and have a bottle of water and breathe, because I can't breathe." And I'm trying to tell them all this while I'm like, "I can't breathe." It's really bad. Anyways, so they give me a chair and they give me a bottle of water, and I'm just having a freaking panic attack at the same time because I just met GOT7. Okay, oh my god, I just met GOT7. I'm having a panic attack and I can't breathe, and I just kept thinking, what if this had happened on stage? What if this had happened in front of them? What if I had passed out in front of them? And I had joked around about passing out in front of them and seeing who did CPR first, but I wasn't serious. I wasn't actually going to do that. I had absolutely no intention of passing out. So, first lesson, do not let yourself get dehydrated just because you're outside waiting for them. Make sure you have plenty of water and plenty of opportunity to sit down, because these fan meets, people start lining up at like 10 o'clock in the morning, depending on who it is. Like, I know people who are going to be at BTS who will be lining up at like 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. That's crazy. I'll let them line up and I'll go meet them in line. It'll be fine. Anyways, back to my story. We get out and my friend sees me sitting in the hallway, freaking out, breathing, and she and she stops and she talks to me. So the two nice ladies who were sitting there talking to me the entire time, they left because they had a friend there who was gonna help me get out. We get over, and we go back to the hotel. And me and Katie, my other friend, we sit in the lobby and wait for them to come back to the hotel because we're creepers like that and we wanted to see them one more time. So we're sitting in the lobby and I'm going through my merch because I didn't have any merchandise before this, and now I have a t-shirt, an album, and of course tons of banners and my light stick. So I'm like, I feel like I'm bawling because I have tons of merchandise now, when I know that there's like girls who have like entire walls dedicated just to one group, and then they have like each wall. Yeah. Just that much seems like a lot to me. So anyways, we're sitting in the lobby and we're just messing around, and we see a van pull up. It was the hotel van. But we were like, both were like, "Oh, look, it's them." And then it was the hotel van, and we're like, well, that's depressing. Right behind the hotel van, after it pulls off, they pull up. So we're like, it's them. She pulls her phone out to record, and I'm like, no, don't do that. But she did it anyways. We're not sharing that video, by the way. We are not going to show that video. That's for our eyes only. And we will not put it on social media because that's their private time. Anyways, we're sitting there and, good night, and they're like, good night, and freaking Jackson walks in, and you know how he is. He's like extra. He's way extra. He does so much fan service, and it's so wonderful. He sees us waving goodnight to everybody else, and he walks, there's a pillar in the lobby, and everybody else had walked the far side around it. He walks the close side around the pillar, points at us, and is like, you sleep. Bitch, no. I'm not about that life. People don't tell me what to do. And first of all, whatever. Anyway, second of all, he has a harder job than we do. Okay, we just follow them around. Like, we just keep tabs on what they're doing. We're fans, whatever. That's not a hard job. They have a hard job. So I'm sitting here going, oh hell no, bitch, you sleep. And then he's like, no, you sleep. You go to sleep. I'm not one to be outdone. Of course, me and my friend were both sitting here going, no, no, you sleep. So we essentially got into an argument with Jackson over who should go to sleep first. Eventually, he did walk off, and then who was the last few through? The last person through was Young Jay, and he had his eyes like glued to his cell phone. It was a little freaking just, I don't know what he was looking at, but whatever it was freaking fascinating. And then, of course, Danny, who was the MC, we saw him outside smoking before the guys arrived, and as he's walking down the hallway, I'm an asshole, and I'm like, smoking is bad for you, good night. My friend's like, smoking is bad for you? Really? It is. It's really bad for you. Don't smoke. Anyways, so we, go eat dinner. At this point, it's like 11 o'clock at night. We go eat at Denny's, and then we come back to the hotel and go to bed. All of us were all like hyped up and excited, but we're also exhausted. The next morning, me and my friend get up and go eat breakfast again. It's like 8 o'clock. Go sit down and eat breakfast. Oh, no, we go get, rewind. We go get Starbucks first and sit in the lobby. And then we decide to go eat breakfast after that. As we're sitting in the lobby, though, sipping on our Starbucks like some kind of white bitch. Just sipping. I'm basic. I'm so basic. Sipping on our Starbucks like basic white bitches. She does the same thing again. Stiffens, eyes wide, waving. And I look over. It's Jin Young, just walking by casually in a hat. They walk over towards the Starbucks, and that man is good looking. Can I just say, I'm just picturing this in my head right now because it was a nice image. It was a very nice image. I was really hoping to see Jackson again at breakfast, but I figure, the likelihood of that happening twice was slim. I was really happy I got to see Jin Young, though. He was my original crush in GOT7 the first time I started watching them, or first time I heard them. He was my original. He's still my second. Jin Young would be my second. Jackson is my first, though. Yeah. Anyway, so we saw him at breakfast, or after he ate breakfast, and he was carrying a book, which I wish I'd caught the name of, because I'd love to read whatever he was reading. Then, of course, the trip came to an end, and me and my other friends that I came up with, we went to a Korean spa, King's Spa and Sauna in Chicago. Very nice place. Very awkward if you've never been to a Korean spa before, or if you weren't ever in the military and had to strip naked with 30 other women and shower. If you, in fact, have had to do that, then it shouldn't be too bad for you. It was a little awkward for me at first, even though I have been in the military and I did, strip naked with other women and shower. But it was a great experience, and I made myself a little sister, Lee Dong-sing, Jiwona, And if you're watching this right now, sarangyo. I love you. Anyways, we got finished with that, and then we went to an H Mart and had some chicken and bought some snacks for the trip home, and we got to the bus stop 2 minutes too late. So one more exciting thing had to happen, of course. We missed the bus home, and of course at that point we're just done. The two girls that I came up with, they had a bit rougher of a time than I did the entire time because they baked the cookies all night the first night, and then we're up all day and barely slept the next night. So they're exhausted, and I'm sure that they've managed to get enough rest by now. But it was just one mess after the other. So we headed down to Union Station to sit down and pilfer somebody's Wi-Fi, and we figured things out from there. Hopped on an Amtrak the next day, and back in god-awful Missouri we are. So let's see. Anything else interesting? Well, it was my first time on an Amtrak. That was interesting. It was a very fascinating experience. I liked that travel though. It was nice. But if you have any questions about my experience, comment in the video or comment below, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you have never been to any kind of K-pop experience, this was my technically third event if you count the K-pop All Night in Dallas. If you don't, then it was my second. SHINee in Dallas, their fan meet was my first K-pop experience, and it was definitely worth it, and so was GOT7. So if you have a chance to see GOT7, I would definitely do it. They kept reiterating that they were going to be back soon. So theory is that it'll be this summer. If that's the case, then shoot me in my wallet because I can't afford this nonsense all the time. But if it's during the summer, at least then I won't have to worry about school. This I missed 3-4 days of school for, and my grades are probably going to show it. 27-year-old college student. That's me. Anyways, if you have any questions or you want to hear more about how amazing they looked, comment and I'll do my best to help you. I'll be writing a blog post about this too, so it'll have a little bit more detail in it, a little bit more of my feelings and my personal experience. So especially more detail in like the meal times and the waiting for the fan meet to start and the King Spawn sauna. So look forward to it.